He likes to stay humble. That's it, huh? It's one for the office.
Which one?
Sorry, in the middle.
What happens when an underdog dares to chase greatness? When a man leaves everything behind: family, friends, distractions, just to face the most dangerous fighter of this generation? On September 13th, Terence Crawford steps into the ring against Canelo Alvarez, and this could be the most emotional battle of his entire career. As September 13th approaches, the boxing world can't stop talking about the mega clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. This isn't just another fight, it's a moment that could redefine legacies. Crawford has locked himself away in Colorado Springs, cutting off media, fans, even close friends, all for one purpose: to dethrone the undisputed super middleweight king, Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez. Terence is not going to see anything that he hasn't seen before. No, he hasn't seen this beast on fight night, but he's seen versions of this beast for a very, very, very long time. People have said that he's a blown-up 147-pound fighter. If you remember, he said it was hard for him to make 147 when he fought Errol Spence Jr. I was like, yo, how is that possible? I didn't realize he was really doing everything that's needed to gain the weight properly. Most fighters don't know how to gain weight and fit into a weight class properly.
Moving from 154 pounds to 168 pounds is no small jump. Crawford's speed, footwork, and ring IQ have always set him apart. But now he enters a division where Canelo has been untouchable. Many experts believe this will be Crawford's ultimate test.
As a fighter in our generation that's a Hall of Famer, that got the biggest name in the sport. So, I chose to go up in weight and to actually try to conquer him from, all his achievements in the division. So why not? I just respect him as all. He's a great fighter. He's, a good boxer. He's a good counter puncher. He's never, off balance. He got a good chin. He got good power. Got, good movement when he want to move. What is there to not say about him?
No, I got you. Now, with all of that, as you rattled off, we'll call it the scouting report, right? What will you have to do to be your best version in order to get this victory?
I think just be myself and just don't get careless in the ring and, stay sharp all 12 rounds. If it goes 12 rounds, I think that's the only thing that, I need to do and make sure that.
But Crawford isn't backing down. His camp says he's training smarter than ever, focusing on keeping his signature fluidity and sharpness while gaining the strength to stand toe-to-toe with Canelo. Still, the size difference is undeniable. Canelo's raw power has crushed opponents for years, while Crawford's strategy will depend on intelligence, timing, and precision.
Have sent me to determine in their mind that Terence Bud Crawford would lose to Canelo Alvarez, or is going to lose September 13th to Canelo Alvarez, as he is sparring here middleweight WBC world champion Carlos Adames, who is 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. And people are saying that Carlos Adames, who's 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach, is having his way with Terence Bud Crawford. And this is an indication that the 168-pound Canelo Alvarez, who's 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, is going to have the same type of success and knock Terence Crawford out. But what people are not paying attention to is Terence Crawford is standing right in front of Carlos Adames and taking the big punches from Carlos Adames as he's standing in the pocket and counterpunching him and taking his blows at a smaller weight class while competing at 147. Now he bulked up.
And then there's the debate: has Canelo already peaked? His recent performances have raised questions, and Crawford is determined to push him to his limits. Legends like Andre Ward, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver, and Andy Ruiz have all weighed in, and the boxing world is split right down the middle. Some say Canelo's size will be too much. Others believe Crawford's adaptability will shock the world.
We just got some footage. Terence Bud Crawford on his socials, on Instagram, that's where I got mine from. On Instagram, him throwing punches with the slip rope. I want you guys to tell me what you see. On top of that, I may get a copyright because I think he's playing some music, but I like the song so much. We'll just delete it later. Either way, after that, I show Canelo Alvarez on the slip rope when he was preparing for his last.
Even trainers like Abel Sanchez have doubts pointing out Crawford's rapid weight jump could cost him his speed and stamina. Still, fighters like Roy Jones Jr. insist Crawford has multiple ways to win, making him the more dangerous man.
You've accomplished everything. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You've been undisputed now in 2 weight classes. This would give you an undisputed championship in the 3rd weight class. But not just that, you know you're fighting an all-time great, and you know that the credit's gonna go to you if you beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez at 168. Is that why you want it?
Well, when I beat him.
When you beat him.
Definitely. You know, the stakes is high. You know, it's high risk, high reward type of fight. And I'm looking forward to it.
When would you say, from memory, that you first thought this fight was a real possibility, that you started thinking about this fight actually happening?
Well, I started thinking about it, you know, a couple of years ago when they started talking about Spence fighting Canelo. Then just, you know, sizing him up, like, all right, how tall is he? You know, how long his arms and things like that. Just sizing him up like that and going to his fights and things like that. And when he walk out the ring, I'm looking at him like, man, all that big. You know, so me talking with Turkey and Turkey not wanting to fight. And me like, yeah, this is the fight that I want, being that, you know.
Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this last couple of years, I'm not betting against Terence Crawford.
This isn't just about belts, it's about pride, legacy, and proving who really belongs on the all-time great list. September 13th won't just be a fight, it'll be history in the making. Can Crawford pull off the impossible? Or will Canelo cement his dominance once and for all?
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the
40 pounds in such a short period of time. I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength, but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But
it's still amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think
that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You got to look at, and that Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, you know, and he can look bigger in. Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. You know, his head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight. Like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do that. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave him troubles, Erislan, DeLaura, Austin Trout, Floyd and Bivol. You know, they gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that. But I don't know how Crawford is gonna respond when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no. Jamel took a knee. You know, so it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't. You know, Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. You talk about Canelo. Now, if it was just another bigger guy, I would go with Crawford. But you talk about great. This might be, I mean, people might kill me for it, but well, not really, but this might be the best Mexican fighter ever.
One thing certain boxing fans are about to witness fireworks. So here's the real question. On September 13th, will Terence Crawford shock the world and rewrite boxing history? Or will Canelo Alvarez prove once again why? He's the king of 168. Drop your prediction in the comments because when that bell rings, history will be made.